Hey guys, my name is Jonathan Ball. I have studied in every way physically possible. I am a lawyer and I am going to medical school, so I have done the LSAT, I have done the MCAT, I have studied through college, I have done STEM classes, I have done the bar exam. I love to hate studying because it is the one thing I am bad at. People will tell you all the time, there's a new way you got to figure it out, or you've got to spend so much time doing whatever. No, you are like me, a lazy person. That is why you are probably clicking on a video how to study, and I appreciate you, and I know you, and I understand you because I am you. There are three things I have learned through my journeys as a infinite student, and these ways helped me go from an above average student to an above average student with less stress. And that was nice. The first thing, and I'm going to be quick, rapid fire with these. The first thing was to gaslight yourself into being more excited for the knowledge growth and opportunities that the day is going to give you. You do this by legitimately planning ahead when you're going to play like video games, or you're going to go on dates, or you tell your parents about things. You're really excited because you're talking about the things that you want to do, and that comes naturally. You don't have to force yourself to be excited for things like that. All other time kind of becomes this goblin mode where you're just like unhappy, or in a lightly lit room where you've read it, or you watched a video that's told you, hey, make this space study space only. You're gonna block out, you're gonna take pictures of your friends and turn them away. No, I don't want to look at anything fun. This is study time. I'm only going to study, and that's incredibly boring. The thing that needs to be validated is that is boring, and you want to do fun things because you like life and you are living it now. Don't wait until later to enjoy life. Do things fun now. So that's kind of a summary of point one. A summary of point two is find something that you like about studying and protect it, and protect for what it's worth to you. And three is add a human element to all of these things. All of the stuff you read about making proper study environment, strange mental gymnastics, and other videos that you've looked at won't actually do the heavy lifting in your studying or your study patterns. Frankly, you need to want to study, and you can't go around watching motivational stuff and expect that to motivate you, because motivation follows attention. And to convince your brain that what you're doing is actually worth it, you have to pay attention to whatever you're doing. I started off just cramming and stuffing things for a few hours through college, and even through law school, despite people telling me this won't work, this is a terrible way to study. But I was satisfied with my performance, and I actually had a better life just cramming things and having an awful time in the last minute where I'd put 12 hours putting in an overnight to try and do well on the exam in the morning. But I was functioning at a high enough level that I think my brain figured out this was a well worth it time, because I didn't have to spend a full-time job's worth of hours throughout my week getting up to snuff where all other people were having to spend more time. And maybe this is intelligence, or maybe this is just laziness maximized or perfected. But having to study for the LSAT, the bar exam, and now the MCAT that I finished a long time ago now, I learned that I actually had to gaslight myself into functioning better. And that's because I had no other options. These things got to a point where they were so difficult, and it wasn't just about passing, it was about passing hard. And I could cram and get good results, but I never felt comfortable wasting my time studying, because I knew I could earn similar results just cramming, but it was so stressful. And I just was like, do I really want to live life with this high and low? Because it always took away from the time I was doing. When I was with friends, I was like, well, I should be studying. When I was doing whatever else, playing video games, it was like, well, I should be studying. But studying was so boring, and your brain is going to start firing quicker when you start to tell yourself, hey, I want to do this. You're going to get all these reasons why not. It's going to feel awful. It's going to be in the pit of your stomach. But if you really just tell yourself, no, this is not the feeling I endorse, you're going to have more ammunition every time you go back to that thought. But as an evolving person, and this sounds cheesy, but a term I've kind of like started to adopt is like hype yourself. Hype yourself about what the next day is going to be, what you're going to do, and why it's going to be fun, who you're going to be, the things you can do because of it. It's mental reps of proper study techniques, that these things are fun and interesting, and do them in a fun and interesting way. I did this first by just straight bulldozing, where I did Anki. So I went onto this, I pulled up some stuff, which is like, how many hours a week should I have been studying? And apparently most people suggest 2 to 3 hours per credit hour, 3 to 4 if you're STEM, per credit hour that you're taking. So if it's a 3 credit hour course, you should, in theory, be studying 9 to 12 hours on your own for that one class, just to like function, I guess, as a student if you're a STEM student. And that's why I started doing things like Anki, which is spaced repetition, which is a proven, I spelled repetition wrong, which is a proven technique for learning, right? It's bulldozing. People make these things all the time. You probably have heard of Anki before. I ended up going from Anki to RimNote, which was kind of like easier to make things, easier to do things. And now I kind of progressed to an AI software that allows me to use another brain essentially to function. And I really enjoy it. But I grew up and was learning new techniques. They were fun. I gamified it. I figured out how to make things more interesting to me. And I spent hours personalizing cards. And then it started to get kind of exciting when I started to like game the system. I started drawing things with mind maps, which I would like make little funny ways of remembering things. You don't have, this is just a random site. I'm not endorsing any of these things. These are just things I found on the internet. But I started drawing maps and working on my artistic skills to draw little characters and funny jokes as I would map out little flow charts to understand whatever in the world I was doing. The thing is a rule here is that I never did something that bored me. You have to make each topic your like your female dog, you know what I mean? And do it with high yield things. So I just don't like studying the nitty gritty. Sometimes it's necessary. Most of the time it's not as necessary as you think. Making sure you get down the high yield content and enjoy it is higher yield than doing things that are not fun. Basking getting ahead of people. And it's okay that you'll miss some points here and there because of the nitty gritty. It is boring and you'll never master the stupid stuff anyways, because frankly, we know how your brain works. You're not going to remember it because it's boring, and you're not going to learn that way. A key story in my history is when I was in law school, there was a guy that sat in the back of class, and I thought this guy was kind of stupid. I thought because he didn't answer things in class really effectively. He knew the concepts, but he didn't really know what we were talking about. And eventually I talked to him and I was like, so what do you do back here? Like you never really talk to us, and you're always, because I would talk to everyone. And he was like, oh, I just so I have it here. I just do Barbary stuff, which is what you do to prep for the bar exam. And he's like, yeah, I just do this stuff all class. And like, I enjoy the like questions, and it's more fun than listening. And he ended up getting so there's an award when you win the class, essentially get the highest score. He got the Cali award. So he got an A in the class, which is really hard to do. I probably got like a B-, and I was satisfied with that. And I was like, wow, this guy spent more time doing the things that were more important. He ended up passing the bar. He became a lawyer, and he did everything with less stress and to his description, had more fun doing it. So sorry to put this random guy on blast on the internet, but I actually really appreciated that he was spending time doing things that he liked better. The third thing that I think is the most important thing is when you're going to do something. So like for medical school, the Barbary equivalent might be Boards and Beyond. You should find someone that's going to do these things with you. You're going to be talking to people about stuff. You're going to talk to people in classes, but you should also add your friends, family, your girlfriend or your boyfriend to this, and tell them stories about the exam. You need to start talking to these people about what you're learning, and about like learning how to show off your maximum skills and what you're learning to help solidify the things that you have learned. In talking to people, even if you're an introvert, is fun. But you can do flashcards and practice exams with another person. You should also try and figure out how to find someone that you vibe with that is interesting to you. If you find just anyone and they bore you, you won't want to talk to them. We're in the business of a healthy level of like, what just happened here, and why is it funny to me, or why is it interesting? And that's kind of the prerogative you should take when learning if you should study it with someone or if you should talk to them. Because when I was studying for the bar exam, I actually became the type of person that really like studied around. I was really loose with my studying. I was really not a good study partner, because I was waking up the next morning in a new person's house, having studied for someone that I barely knew, and I had no morals with it. I would study with anyone. If they asked me to come over and cram a subject, I was totally willing, because it was more fun to do that with someone else. And not to offload thought to them, because you had to be doing work, but I was not going to do things if it was not fun to me. And I enjoyed talking to people. I enjoyed talking to friends about it. I would try and explain these things to my parents, who just would never understand what I was talking about, but I enjoyed the art of orating to them, things that they would just gloss over. But also making it interesting to people was an element of fun for me, and also helped me solidify things better. So if I had to kind of summarize that, is gas hype yourself. Find the study habits that are fun for you and protect them. Tell people why they're cool. And that's the third thing, is add the human element to what you're doing. Do the first two. Gaslight your friends. That's the thing you should take away from this video, is gaslight your friends into thinking studying is cool. So that is how to study in a way that makes you competent, gets the thing done, and doesn't drain your soul. So those are my thoughts. Gaslight your friends. Thank you, everybody.